Welcome to the EGC Marketing Podcast, where we provide you with the latest digital marketing news, performance marketing tips, and creative problem-solving skills you need to stay resilient in our fast-changing world of marketing. Listen each week and learn how to get the edge over your competition and grow.
Hello and welcome everyone to the EGC Marketing Edge podcast. I'm Max, your host, and joining us today is none other than Nicole Penn, who is the president and CEO of EGC Group, a powerhouse performance-based marketing agency that's been helping clients develop marketing strategies for nearly 40 years. With a track record that speaks volumes, Nicole has overseen the placement of over $50 million in media annually, catapulting brands to new heights with strategic and innovative approaches. But that's not all. Nicole and her team have been making waves with their latest creation, a game-changing software called The Edge, which uses AI to measure and analyze competitor marketing spend. Today, we'll be discussing how EGC has been using AI for client growth and performance. We'll also touch on some of the watchouts of this new technology, as well as how businesses can protect their data and potentially mitigate threats from bad actors. Nicole, it's great to have you with us.
Good to be here. Thank you.
So we'll dive straight into the heart of it. How has your agency integrated AI into its workflow? And can you share some insights, perhaps, into how AI has influenced the productivity and output of your team?
Sure. Yeah. So at the agency, we really adopted AI pretty early. We kind of, saw the wave coming and started really testing and learning for ourselves first before we brought our clients and their plans into AI. So I think the earliest adopters were both the analytics teams and the creative teams. The creative AI tools came on pretty fast. And, it was our goal to be an AI enabled agency. I think some of the early conversations around AI were almost about job replacement, replacing agencies. You had all the AI writing tools and chat GPT. And I think there was like some conjecture about, that this, who needs copywriters because you have these tools. And we really took the point of view is that, let's like dip our toes in and see how it can make everyone more efficient versus looking at this as a replacement or a competitor. And that's really been our point of view today that, the agencies using AI will definitely run faster and be smarter than the agencies that don't.
And I guess, I hear that question come up a lot, the idea of AI being a job enhancer instead of a job replacer. How do you communicate that like effectively to clients where they say, listen, I could put in a prompt in ChatGPT and spit out a blog and it's all very well and good. But of course, there's more to it than meets the eye, right?
Definitely, because ultimately, like that blog is going to look like everyone else's blog that did the same thing. So that's one big watch out is, you're going to have redundancies in content. Um, and, AI is not perfect. So, it doesn't always have like true research citations. When you're looking to include facts and data and context, it's not always perfect at that. There have been a lot of missteps where, lawyers were using AI and it actually used fictional citations and fictional cases. So it's by no means perfect. It seems to be good, and just to think outside of just the creative teams and how other teams use it. Even for anyone to just think about, I need to make a case for this, or I need to write an email, or I need to build a persona. We have teams that are using AI just to do persona development, and certainly not perfect, but it gets something to 70% of the way, which is great because it saves time.
Yeah, most definitely. And I would argue that, that remaining 30% is really where the value is, extracted and capitalized on. So, it's a good base point, but of course, you need the expert insight to refine it and, make it something that could have real tangible impact.
Exactly.
And I know, we touched on this maybe a little bit before, but as the CEO of EGC, I know you personally. Obviously, we have a working relationship, and to say that you have a lot on your plate is the understatement of the year. But can you share some insights into maybe how you use AI personally to maintain organization and efficiency? I know there's some AI scheduling tools. If you just want to talk on that for a bit.
Yes. So I am a busy woman. Also, separate of my work calendar, I have a family calendar, lots of kids doing lots of different things, and that can definitely stack on. I did start using some calendar AI tools that I've come to love. One is called Reclaim, and it basically helps protect your calendar. It protects the things that you want to protect. I think for me, I this year has been the year I'm trying to elevate my health and my healthy habits. So I try to schedule those things like I schedule a client meeting, and using AI helps protect that, or looks at conflicts and removes conflicts. And what's interesting about Reclaim AI is that it actually will, find the conflicts for you, but also it senses things that are recurring and helps place those things back in your calendar. So that's been pretty cool, and I've been testing that. So that really helps from a time management standpoint. Um, we, as a family, we've been using ChatGPT. I have a 11-year-old daughter who has used an AI presentation tool to build a presentation on something she wanted me to do. So it was really well researched and thorough, and I was, super impressed. And she built it really quickly. So ChatGPT has a role in our in our family. And then next, just I do a lot of writing. Um, I personally have a thing about typos, but I'm not immune to making them myself. So I try to use Grammarly AI, even in just my, personal communication. Um, I move pretty quickly, and so sometimes I'm typing things on my phone, and I find that I could use a little bit of extra help. And one interesting thing that Grammarly AI does is it helps improve your style to be more concise. So, something that could be two paragraphs can be like three well-written sentences. So I've been impressed with that, and using that tool.
Yeah, most definitely. Grammarly has helped my writing style become much more effective, I should say. And I do have to touch on, your 11-year-old making a presentation with AI and using ChatGPT for research. That's quite impressive, and honestly has me very excited as to what these tools are going to be able to do and empower people in the future. Using AI to get mom to hopefully agree to something is quite something. All right.
Definitely. I actually, if anyone listening is a parent, like, you'd have kids ask you the same question over and over and over. And I was going to start note taking using that Firefly AI to document certain answers that I'm giving my kids. Because usually, like, they'll ask me something, I answer it, and then it comes up again 2 minutes later. So I have a phrase like asked and answered when when that happens. But I might need to start documenting. And we've been using, Zoom AI for note taking, but Firefly is really good as well. And I talked to my daughter about using that as well.
Fantastic. And before we get into our last question, I do want to mention the EGC Edge, which is, in part an AI tool that you guys use quite effectively to help, I believe it is, measure competitor spend. Do you want to talk about, perhaps the development of that tool and some applications and use cases?
Yes. So, we've been, as I said, using AI across the agency. And I could mention, just if it's helpful, the specific tools that we're using per department. But the creative teams love Midjourney for concepting. Max, I know you've used Salesforce Einstein for CRM, and we love that. The media and analytics teams are using the built-in AI in GA4 and Bing. I know that the development teams are using Copilot and GPT-4. So there's lots of tools out there that I'd encourage anyone in marketing and creative to use. Our tool, the Edge, is pretty great, if I might say. You know, it's always helpful to identify your players' next moves and kind of what they're doing, and this tool does that. So we're able to really get a sense of what someone's spending in market, where they're projected to go next, and with the layer of edge and some human insight, we're able to kind of like look at the chessboard and help clients make the right move to win. So we're doing that across the board with our healthcare clients or retail clients. We just had a home services use case where we saw, clients, certain competitors doubling down in one place, but a whole white space of marketing tactics that this particular client hadn't thought of. So a lot of cool applications for it.
All right, fantastic. And of course, we do need to discuss the safety and fair use of these AI tools. Obviously, we talked about this a little bit in the beginning of the podcast, but things such as deep fakes, making sure there's no plagiarism, data privacy, all of these are real, growing key concerns of AI. So if you don't mind just sharing maybe some steps that your agency has taken to make sure that AI is used responsibly first and foremost, and also maybe be wary of potential threats caused by AI.
Yeah. So, we've crafted some of this in our AI point of view. I think the most important thing that we tell our teams and reassure our clients is that, all the no client data is getting uploaded to these AI servers. That is first and foremost. When you're putting in searches, or if you're using an AI extension, say, on a client spreadsheet, that data is no longer yours and it's getting shared. So that's a big no for us. So any data that gets entered into any AI tool is anonymized, always. So we take our clients' privacy really seriously, and we that's first and foremost for us. Um, and then second, we know that there could be some fake news out there with AI, and like as I said, it's not perfect. It's not a perfect engine, so everything has to get layered with human oversight and fact checking. Um, Nothing's kind of just done. AI is never kind of running on its own. There's always layers of human fact checking, proofing, third party verification, and also just having a human layer of creativity attached to anything that's getting written in AI, um, or an output from AI.
Yeah, most definitely. I would say that as impactful as AI is, really, you need to know how to use it, but you also need to know how to, use it responsibly and protect against it. So, the fact that your agency is taking these necessary steps to make sure the guardrails and safeguards are in place, it's very good to hear. Um, all right, fantastic. And I guess, before we conclude, is there anything else that you would like to share with our viewers, maybe about EGC, maybe about, just um, AI in general, just to give our listeners a nugget before we sign off?
Yeah, so I mean, I encourage anyone listening to one, subscribe to our news feed that gets published every Friday. We will have a webinar coming up in a few weeks. And for those listening that's attending Vision East, we'll be there in March, as well as the EOS conference and the CEO International Conference. So, definitely hit the like and subscribe to hear more from my team. And last, I'm giving a shout out to Max and Dean who helped this process and get this podcast. We've off the ground. It's been awesome, and people have told me how much they love it. So thank you.
Fantastic. You took the words right out of my mouth, everybody. Please do like, subscribe, and share. Nicole, thanks so much again for taking the time to speak with us, and we will see everyone in our next podcast.